Kathy is also a member of Door of Hope's Development Committee. She has served as table captain multiple times for our annual Hope for the Future benefit, and she is a financial supporter as well. So now Kathy is helping us spread the word about Door of Hope through hosting this virtual event. So Kathy, we owe you a debt of gratitude. Thank you so much. And without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Kathy.
Good evening, everybody. So great to see all your faces there. And thank you, Carmela. It's really wonderful to be with you all. I'm honored to be asked to help spread the word about Door of Hope by hosting this event. I love Door of Hope because Door of Hope is one of the few such organizations that's making a tangible, measurable difference in breaking the cycle of homelessness for families. I care deeply about this issue. I've looked at other such organizations, but Door of Hope stands out due to its track record. My favorite statistic that I quote all the time is that 86% of families remain housed after 5+ years leaving the Door of Hope program. And a big part of the Door of Hope success is due to the Job and Career Development Program, which is our topic for tonight. I can't wait for you to hear about the program because this is also a topic that we all can relate to. I, like many of you, I am sure, have found ourselves unemployed, out of work, by circumstances totally out of our control. In my case, it was in my 40s. I was laid off from my job due to a corporate restructuring. It came as a complete surprise. It was the first time in my life that I was unemployed. It was really devastating. I felt like I had hit rock bottom. But I took a similar pathway to what is offered by the Job and Career Development Program at Door of Hope. A friend of mine is a career coach. She coached me into thinking about new ways and a new career. Friends mentored me, and I went back to school, taking classes to change my career. I did all this and it worked. I can't imagine going through this if I did not have access to these types of services and if I was facing being homeless. So that brings me to our topic for tonight, empowerment through employment. Imagine you're facing imminent eviction and have no idea where to go, or you're reeling from the experience of losing your home, oftentimes all while dealing with the trauma of domestic violence, and you may have young children who depend on you. How do you take care of yourself, your family? How can you even think about finding a job in a time like this, especially if you don't even have a resume or even a work history? So this is where many families find themselves when they arrive at Door of Hope. Let's take a listen.
Honestly, I didn't even realize how prevalent homelessness is and how easy you can find yourself in a situation like that.
No one really wants to be homeless. Sometimes it's just out of that family's control. Before I was homeless, I had a nice savings account. I felt like I was doing everything I was supposed to do. But when the pandemic hit, I lost my job and I had to resort to only using my savings account to survive.
And then I lost the place I was living to be in this RV, which is just, had the bed. We didn't have any electricity, nothing like that.
I was behind on my rent. I was scared. I was close to eviction.
I tried asking for more hours from my employer. She looked me dead in my eye and said, "There's homeless people struggling every day." And I knew from that point I had to just do something. I couldn't just wait until, our last days at the motel and just have nothing.
It was just this heaviness and a lot of shame, a lot of guilt that I couldn't give my children the necessities, just a home, a bed, food.
I thought I was gonna get kicked out. My manager told me about Door of Hope, and then I found out it was Christian-based, so that was like God was knocking on my door again,
I remember thinking when I was filling out the form and about to send the email, I remember thinking I really hope this works, because if it doesn't, I don't know what other avenue I have. The first thing that she did for our first time talking, she prayed with me, and she prayed that I would have peace behind what was going on with my family. And it was, I'm sorry, it was very genuine, and it just touched me so much. I actually ended up hanging up the phone, calling my sister, and I was like, she just prayed with me. And I just felt like she actually cared.
When it came down to me arriving there on that day, I was greeted so warmly. I felt this really warm and comforting embrace. And I knew at that moment, like, you know, this was gonna work. Like, I made the best decision possible for my daughter and I.
You know, again, as I watch that, I'm reminded about what I love about Door of Hope. It's just, I'm kind of emotional after watching that now. The parents in that video desperately want to provide for their kids, but they need resources to earn their way out of homelessness and poverty. That is why the Job and Career Development Program is vital. It provides a path for these families to earn higher incomes. In the last 3 years, Door of Hope has focused on growing a robust job and career program under the leadership of the Door of Hope CEO, Megan Katurgian. I've known Megan since she was a young pastor at La Cañada Presbyterian Church. As CEO now for over 6 years, I'm so impressed with her leadership and commitment to families facing homelessness. During that time, Door of Hope has grown from serving 97 families in 2018 to 450 families in 2023. That's tremendous. So without further ado, I would now like to turn it over to the Chief Executive Officer and my friend, Megan Katurgian.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I'm so grateful for you and your partnership and friendship, and I want to join you in welcoming everyone here tonight. As you can imagine, there are so many reasons that lead families to homelessness. There are mental, emotional, physical, and of course, financial factors. And that's why Door of Hope embraces this holistic approach across all 3 of our programs: Homelessness Prevention, Transitional Housing, Alumni Support. And so whether it's providing financial coaching, therapy, job and career support, children's services, or spiritual care, that holistic approach is really what sets us apart. And it leads to incredible results. Kathy has already shared her favorite stat that 86% of families are still housed 5 years after graduating from our transitional shelters. But also 97% of families are still in their homes 1 year after completing our homelessness prevention program. And so that holistic program is what makes Door of Hope successful and unique. And our job and career development program that we're sharing about tonight is one piece of that holistic approach. Over the past 2 years, parents have experienced lasting transformation, and families have broken the cycle of homelessness because of job and career development. Tonight is all about empowering families through employment. And here's the backstory about that. A few years ago, we realized that a robust job and career program was absolutely vital for families' long-term success because the cost of housing in LA is at an all-time high. In order to afford housing, families just simply have to earn higher wages. In October of last year, the Los Angeles Magazine published an article with the headline, $100,000 a year is now low income. That headline says it all. LA's cost of living is 51% higher than the national average. To afford even a modest 2-bedroom apartment in LA, a household would need to make $110,000 a year. That's $53 an hour. But the extremely low-income families that Door of Hope works with survive on much less, $34,000 a year before Door of Hope's intervention. And so this chasm between the average Door of Hope family and a living wage job is just incredibly profound, almost insurmountable, it feels like. If families are going to afford housing and achieve lasting success after Door of Hope, they need higher paying jobs. But here's the gap. Most families coming into Door of Hope are either unemployed, have little or no work experience, or have only had minimum wage jobs. They need a tangible and practical path to earning a living wage, and that's why we have spent the last 3 years developing a path to that end. Well, tonight, we want to share what we've learned over the last 3 years developing this job and career program. We want to introduce you to the families whose lives have been transformed by it, and we want to invite you to partner with us so that more families can find empowerment through employment. So how does it all work? Well, to answer that, I have invited our Chief Program Officer, Regina Williams, to share more. Thanks for joining us, Regina.
It's Megan. Well, whether working with families in our shelters, or families who've graduated into their own homes, or families on the brink of eviction, all of our clients need to earn a living wage. So our job and career program has 3 goals. First, to help families find jobs so that they can immediately care for their kids. Second, to help families identify a living wage job or career. And third, provide the training and tools they need to pursue that higher paying job or career. For families facing homelessness, sometimes the first step to earning a living wage is just getting a job, any job. And our job and career development program offers job search support in a variety of ways. Our case managers meet with clients to discuss goals, point them in a direction of resources, and offer much needed accountability. Our life skill classes equip families with tools to find a job, help with writing a resume, or learn a new resource like job search engines. And our job and career developer helps families finesse their resume and practice interviewing by engaging in mock interviews. For example, one of our clients, Janet, was working as a bartender, and she didn't feel that she had much that she could put on a resume. But after meeting with our job and career developer, she discovered that she could package her customer service skills in a marketable way, and she ended up landing a job as a receptionist. Getting a job is an essential step towards earning a living wage. But we don't want our clients to just have jobs. We want them to find careers that provide a living wage, that ignite their passions, and where they can use their gifts and their talents. And that's where career coaching comes in. Career coaching is what really sets Door of Hope's program apart from other homeless agencies offering job services. Through career coaching, parents think through who they are and what's out there, and they plan where they're going and how to get there. They're able to explore their skills and interests, research potential occupations, determine what career they would like to pursue, and then plan how to get there with the help and the support of our job and career developer. But when I think about career coaching, there's one story that comes to mind. Amber, a mom living at one of our transitional housing shelters with her 2-year-old daughter, had worked in the food service industry for a number of years. And although she had been to college, she hadn't explored other careers because of the domestic violence and homelessness she experienced. So when her case manager told her she needed to find a job, she was obviously anxious and was dreading going back to the food industry where she would have to work long hours. But that all changed when she met with our job and career developer, who said to her, you don't have to work at a fast food restaurant. There are other options. And so after several coaching sessions, Amber discovered how she can convert her passion for working with adults with disabilities into a career. She is now working with Ability First and is thrilled to have found work that is challenging and fulfilling. For parents like Amber, sometimes to move forward in a career, they need more experience or a special license or higher education. And that's where training and skill development comes in. And there are a few ways we help families develop those skills or acquire that additional training. One way is through internships. Door of Hope developed an internship program that gives clients work experience toward the career they're interested in pursuing. When Brittany was living at Door of Hope, she applied at Door of Hope's internship program and interned as an assistant in our transitional housing program for 6 months. The experience Brittany gained made her a competitive candidate for a career in social work. And she's now working at a home for at-risk youth. And we are excited to share that she was recently promoted to a management position. Our internship program bridged the gap between where she was and where she wanted to go. Another essential piece of this training and skills development is education. Whether parents are getting their GED or college degree or obtaining a vocational training certificate, we offer scholarships to cover a variety of needs, whether that's tuition assistance, helping a parent to obtain a vocational certification, help purchase a computer, study materials, supplies, and so on. We see that our education is just super helpful in helping families move on to a career. And Wendy's story illustrates the impact of that. While she was living in Door of Hope's transitional shelter, she determined that she wanted to increase her income by pursuing a career in education. But there was one problem. She wasn't able to afford the tuition or the fees to get her teaching credential. One day, when meeting with her case manager, she learned that Door of Hope offers scholarships. Wendy applied and received the help she needed. She now has her teaching credential and teaches students with special needs. Without the means to further her education, she could not have moved on forward in her career. But I don't want you to take it from me. I want you to hear from families and learn of the ways this program has transformed their lives.
I was looking to make a change, and I think it was all because there was a lot going on, and I was like, I need something different, and that's the reason why I wanted to do career coaching.
To get with somebody to actually help you to, do a resume, because I've never done one.
I had the work experience, but didn't have it on paper. And then during that time, we did a mock interview where she would just ask me like common questions throughout the interview and gave me tips and tricks on how to answer it. And yeah, it was nice. Like I still have her tips and tricks in the back of my head to this day.
My case manager told me, go to the DPSS building, because when you are a parent, you qualify for this job program. And through that, transition of finding employment, I did come across a great organization within the live entertainment industry. When I interviewed with them, I felt like there was a connection between me and the person that interviewed me. And she ended up offering me the position as executive assistant.
She honestly helped me to see the value of where I was in my current position. She was like, well, how's it gonna make you feel if you feel like you're working toward that goal without quitting your job? So she was like, well, join a writing community, go on forums just to see what they're doing and, stuff like that. So she gave me this analogy. She was like, there's this bucket and you're just filling little flowers in every time you do something towards your writing, that you're putting another flower in or a little water, or you're making this bloom. And she was like, and you're moving toward that goal without taking away from your stability.
They really buckled me down and they were like, what are your worries and what are your fears? What is holding you back? And then I explained to them everything that was going on with the child support, with the history, the criminal history, and what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a contractor. It led me to Googling where a contractor state board office is, and I found one in Norwalk. And I drove over there and I asked them, what do I need to do to get my contractor's license? And can my criminal history hold me back? And then that's when she was like, no, your criminal history won't hold you back. They got me fired up. But most of the footwork really happened from me. And it happened because they helped me. They paid my rent. I was able to think. I was able to get focused. I was able to just put one foot in front of the other.
When I was at Door of Hope, they were doing like a pilot program called Pathways Internships, where you work with a department within Door of Hope. You got job training, and it would eventually lead to a career.
Now that I work at Door of Hope as the weekend and night manager, I still been in contact with Door of Hope's career developer, and that has narrowed down to me following this social work. She is like guiding me and supporting me to see what colleges, what classes I should take so I can start this new career.
So once I stopped working for Door of Hope, I actually went into the field of helping at-risk youth. So I work at that we call it STRTP, but it's a short-term residential therapeutic program where we take foster youth in and we treat them like our own. That's been amazing, and I would say my experience with Door of Hope has helped kind of bridge that gap to work with at-risk youth. And a few months ago, I actually got promoted to be a facility manager, which is amazing. So day by day, it's challenging, but I love every moment of it.
Well, I hope you're as inspired as I am to hear how this job and career development program is really changing lives. We've actually invited one of the people in that video to share in a little more detail the transformation that he experienced. Scott, who you're about to meet, came to Door of Hope through our homelessness prevention program. When we first met Scott, he had suffered an unimaginable loss, the death of his son. The funeral costs and inability to work for a season left him at imminent risk of eviction. And so it was because of the homelessness prevention program that we could offer him short-term rental assistance, which kept him housed. But it was through meeting with our job and career coach that his life really changed. So Scott joined us tonight because he wanted to share with you the amazing progress he's made thanks to your support. So welcome, Scott. We're so excited that you're here tonight. I think he's looking for the unmute button. There you go. Oh, you just muted yourself again, I think, Scott. There you go.
You hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. That was beautiful on the screen. Anyways, I'm grateful to be here. And blessed to be here to share my story with everybody. When I came into contact with Door of Hope, I was in a dark place. It was the holidays. I had lost my son to COVID, and I was struggling to make rent on time. Burying my son was extremely expensive. I had savings, and the community helped me. I didn't just do it by myself. Lots of Luke's friends helped, and God opened doors, and Luke got his send off. And at that time, I had came into contact with Door of Hope because I was in jeopardy of losing my home. I had received a 3-day notice. Work was really slow. I was working for myself, doing maintenance and repair work. From friends and family, and advertising online, on Facebook and Instagram, and getting all the work that I could possibly. And because of the holidays, everything had gotten slow. I was in fear that I was going to lose my home. It's me and my 6-year-old child. My owner had directed me to Door of Hope, and they're angels, and I came into contact with them, and they helped me heard my story, and they helped me with my rent, and I was able to focus. And they also helped me. They didn't just help me with my rent. They wanted to help me find a way to be able to pay my rent and be fruitful in my life. So they asked me, what were my strong points, what were my talents, and what did I do for work? And I explained to them, I love doing air conditioning, and I love working on people's homes and anything mechanical. And they directed me to focusing on getting my contractor's license. And at that time, I thought it was quite impossible because of my criminal history, I had full custody of my son, but I was dealing with child support fraud where I was having to pay child support because mom shouldn't have been collecting child support. But I thought all those things made it impossible for me to get my license. And well, they got online. I got in contact with their career development counselor. We got online together, and we got information on if child support would hold back your contractor's license. And, and little did I know it wouldn't, as long as I was in line with it, which I was in line with it. And then I needed to, I was in fear that my criminal history would stop me from being able to obtain a contractor's license, because the criminal department with the contractors board is really strict on who they give licenses to, because they want to make sure that they're allowing trustworthy people to enter their homes. And basically we figured out that you can make mistakes in your life, but once you've given time and you've shown rehabilitation, that you can get your contractor's license. That was thanks to Door of Hope and me going to the board and talking to the people and them helping me put one foot in front of the other and focus, because I was so unfocused and so hurt and so broken, not knowing if I was going to have a home to come to. So yeah, their angels helped me with my rent, which got me into working on getting my whole life together. I didn't, at that moment, I had no idea the things I was going to achieve before I met them, and that they were even possible. So once I found out that I basically just had to turn in my application to become a contractor, and be honest about my criminal history, and then show that I've been rehabilitated, I would be eligible to take the exam and get a contractor's license. Door of Hope's career development department, our department, helped me obtain a scholarship, and this scholarship helped me study for my exam, for my law and business and my contractor's license exam. With all that help, I passed my exams and I've achieved my contractor's license. I now have my own business. I'm growing. Funny thing is I service multiple McDonald's. I'm probably there every other day to every day. And I'm rocking. I'm giving people that need work on the streets, not on the streets, but people that reach out to me and say I need work. I'm giving them daily work. I'm making a difference, and I'm achieving my dreams, and I have goals, and life is much more exciting now. Every day I hurt from the loss of my son. Every morning I wake up, but now life is so much more beautiful and so much more brighter. And it's thankful to a lot of the angels and everybody here that believed in me and just helped me in so many ways. I see myself starting payroll soon and hiring, up to 10 employees within the next year, growing my service vehicles, and building my company to be as professional and as great as I could possibly make it. So I just want to take this time to thank everybody and show you all my gratitude, and encourage you to continue to donate, because these people, they put the money and they put the blessings in the right places. Came into contact. It wasn't hard. I had a meeting with them. They sat me down and they helped me. And at that time, nobody else would help me. So thank you guys, and I love you from the bottom of my heart.
Scott, thank you. We're so proud of you, and you're such an inspiration. I really want to just thank you, and I want to give a little plug for your business with 5-star Yelp reviews. And Carmela is gonna put your contact information in the chat there, so you can copy it there or just grab a screenshot of Scott's card here. But congratulations, Scott. You know, Scott came into our program knowing what he wanted to do, but needing the resources and the help mapping out the plan to get there. And it's been just a privilege to walk alongside him in that effort. But other times clients will come to us with really no idea what they want to do. They've never had a career, or maybe they don't have work experience. And so I want you to think back to when you were a kid. Likely at one point you were asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? In other words, who are you? What do you love? What do you want to become? Well, sadly, many moms and dads who come to Door of Hope haven't ever had the opportunity to think about their careers in that way. Instead, they've only had the ability to ask, what do I have to do just to survive? To make sure my kids eat? Lily was one of those people. She didn't have the opportunity to dream or even to have a job because, like many of the moms at Door of Hope who are homeless because they fled domestic violence, Lily found herself with someone who was not only her abuser, but her sole provider. And so after she fled that marriage, she had no room to dream. She just needed to survive. That is until she came to Door of Hope. And so I want you to take a look at her story.
I was a stay-at-home mom for many years. I married, 3 children, very normal life, kids in sports, doing good in school. I would say during the pandemic is when the arguing got worse. It got physical, and when the 3rd time, that's when I said no more. I called the police on him. After that, he got arrested. We rented, me and my husband, my ex-husband, rented the back house to his parents' home. So his parents lived in the front, we rented the back. Naturally, the parents asked, where is Carlos? And I was so scared to tell them because that's their son. I showed them my marks instead of them, are you okay? Do you need anything? Everything's gonna be okay. No, they went straight to rescue him and bail him out. That same day that I was honest with his parents, I had a social worker knock on my door. And once she was done talking to the younger ones and to me, she made it very clear that I cannot live there, that I had to leave the home, and I wasn't protecting the children if I didn't leave, and she would take my children away. I felt like I was being criminalized over something. I didn't do anything. Next thing you know I am getting taken to this emergency DV shelter, which I didn't even know where it was at. It was like this top secret place, and I was there for about almost a month. There is where I applied for Door of Hope, and Door of Hope called me a couple days before our last day because I didn't know where we were gonna go after that. When you first get to Door of Hope, the rules are made clear. You have to be employed by a certain time and or be enrolled by a certain time. I mentioned that I was a stay-at-home mom, so I didn't know what to do. I didn't know like my resume or where to begin. Or the most helpful thing that Door of Hope did for me was help me navigate school. I didn't know how to apply or how to fill out the paperwork. They granted me scholarships, 4 of them, The scholarships were for my certified nursing assistant license, my restorative nursing assistant license, my home health aide license, and my phlebotomy license. If it wasn't for those licenses, I wouldn't be employed today, and I would not be able to provide for my children. And I'm hired on right now at Providence Holy Cross as a CNA, but I'm trying to get into their lab. All the licenses that I've gotten at Door of Hope, I've used. I've made sure I put them to use, and they've helped me and my children. I graduated in May of this year, 2023. We live in the city of San Fernando now. We rent a home, so they're getting adjusted, running around. Door of Hope is the one that made it all happen. My job. They helped me. Miss Peggy helped me with my resume. She helped me like how to find a job and what to say in interviews. They coach you from beginning to end. Same thing with my living situation. I wouldn't be there without Door of Hope's help. If it wasn't for Door of Hope, I wouldn't be where I'm at. My children, I wouldn't be where we're at now. I would say to Door of Hope, the volunteers, the staff, the donors, I would say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, what an incredible story.
I would.
Lily went from no work experience and no way to provide for her kids to a great resume, a career track, and earning more than she ever thought was possible. And her story didn't end there. Once Lily and her 3 kids moved out of Door of Hope and into their own home, we got to introduce Lily to one of our partners, the Change Reaction. They were offering full scholarships to UCLA's medical assistant program. And so she applied and got in and is now a student at UCLA studying to become a licensed medical assistant. And she'll graduate in 2025 from that program, fully qualified for a great paying position. And so just what a picture of the transformation that this job and career development program makes possible. So as we wrap things up, I'm going to turn it over to our host for the evening, Kathy Fuller, to share with you how you can partner to provide more of these services for more families.
Thanks so much, Megan. As you've seen and heard, the lasting impact of the Job and Career Development Program is undeniable. 78% of the families in the Transitional Housing Program and 90% of families in the Homelessness Prevention Program increased their income last year. In addition, as we've heard from Lily a few minutes ago, after our families graduate from Door of Hope, the Alumni Support Program continues to be a resource for them to thrive and have long-term lasting success in the workplace. All in all, they're moving closer to not only earning a livable wage, but finding their place in the world of work and in the body of Christ. We've seen how the Job and Career Development Program can change lives, which is why we are so excited to invite you to invest in this program. But why is your investment so important today? AmeriCorps, one of our funding partners, has helped us pilot this program by covering the salary of our Job and Career Development Program director for the last 2 years. But pilot funding is always time limited, and that funding comes to an end in May. So your partnership tonight will make that vital position permanent and fund everything else we offer: scholarships, internships, case management, and the other essential services that you've heard about tonight. The total cost of all these services is $300,000 a year. And your support tonight will make these services available to all 450 families across all 3 Door of Hope programs. Now, the good news is that we are already halfway to raising that $300,000. Thanks to a few generous supporters, we are so excited to announce a $150,000 match challenge to help sustain this invaluable program. So with your help, we can meet this challenge and raise an additional $150,000. So I'd like you to take a look at this list of gift amounts and see what impact each level of your gift can achieve. A $250 gift will provide job search support that pays for things like case management, resume preparation, and interview practice. A $1,000 gift will provide career coaching. That pays for our job and career developers' work, exploring and fitting careers with our clients, their skills, and their interests. A $2,500 gift will provide training and skill development. This includes essential resources such as books, computers, and scholarships for certificates and their licenses, and also fees for exams. A $5,000 gift will support our internship program. Every year, Door of Hope hires a handful of clients as part-time interns so they can learn office skills and focus on developing a resume in fields like human resources, social services, or marketing. A $5,000 gift would cover the full cost of one internship. I know some of you here tonight have already made your gift to this program, and we thank you for this. For others, we thank you for considering to make a gift at one of those levels we just reviewed. Again, all gifts will be matched dollar for dollar up to $150,000. And remember, all gifts are powerful, no matter how big or how small. We could all help reach the total $300,000 goal to fund the job and career development program. So please make your gift tonight. Here's how. If you look at the slide, you can see that you can give by check or online using the QR code or the website address listed. We'll keep this slide up here. And if you've RSVP'd to this event, we just sent you a text message and an email to your inbox with the link as well. Again, I cannot thank you enough for attending tonight.